So types of auctions. The popular ones, it's called English auction, is nothing but ascending bids. This so-called open cry market. Like, for example, in Sotheby's, that when they sell this contemporary art, the auctioneer sort of try to sort of raise the bid, right, until someone say yes, until someone who has the highest bid, nobody can beat them, then they will win the auction. So I think, yeah, this is sort of these are all contemporary arts that the insane money, in fact, are transacted through the auction. So for the common people, let's say, eBay, is the place that you can find, auction. For example, in this case, they do this English auction. So the English auction, you can think about this simple. Suppose you got an Apple, then everybody, not everybody, but if you tend to buy, raise your hand. So you think about this as a model where the price is going to increase and at each time step, and you raise your hand basically to try to buy this item by that price plus $1 dollar. So as you can see, people keep raising hand until the last offer, then sold to that person. So you could also do this in a decreasing direction. For example, you start with a maximum price that's people think of. Oh, so this is a Dutch. That's why I call it Dutch. The reason they call it Dutch auction is because that auction quite often happening in Netherlands, where they sell all these flowers. And the benefit of this Dutch auction is that you just have one. You only need one bid and clear everything. So it's very quick. And so that's why they use it to sell like flowers every morning, and all these flowers, fresh flowers, are gonna ship internationally every single day. So how did it work? Start with the max price and go down until someone say, okay, this is the price that I happy to pay, and stop that. So and sold with that price. This is also happening in the early stage of eBay. I'm not sure it happens now, but yes, they do this Dutch auction. So very quick, and in some other occasions, like Google IPOs, their stock was actually do something similar to Dutch auction. So English auction, Dutch auction is open quiet auction. In other words, that you do the bids and everybody else can see your bids. But also you have this sealed bid auction. So in other words, that those bids would be hidden, right? Only the auctioneer knows that, not other bidders. So the first price auction, second price auction are the typical ones. So let's looking at what the first price auction is. So everybody basically secretly written in their envelope their bids and send to them, and then one has highest bid receive the item, but also pay the highest bid. So it's called first price auction. So second price auction is doing similarly, but the pay is different. So if you're looking at this, still the one who bids the highest, in this case $8, would win, but this person only pays the second highest price, not the first price. So any reason why we have the second price auction? The second price auction is very important. If you answer this question, that means that you get if you earlier than victory, this one of the professors answer that question correctly, then you might have the chance to obtain Nobel Prize. So So this is a Nobel Prize winning question, in fact. So the second prize auction are known as victory auction. So it's because of that he got no Nobel Prize. So I can draw some conclusion here. Later we're gonna verify this. Second, so the second prize auction is really truthful telling, as we said before, right? So is that we wanted people to tell the truth, and the second prize auction, in fact, is a way to encourage people to telling the truth. So maybe we can answer that question mathematically, but just want to get an intuition why, second prize auction would be. Yeah. So I think because it's second prize auction, therefore, you could potentially review your bid, right? Because then you're not gonna pay that, you're gonna pay something below. So we're gonna mathematically, to really prove, second prize auction indeed is truthful telling. So there's English auction, Dutch auction, first prize auction, second prize auction. How do they relate to each other? So let's look at this. Equivalent auctions. So first prize auction are statistically equivalent to Dutch auction. I think some of you mentioned that in the chat box. Yeah. So expected profit are identical in this case, but obviously we need to make some assumptions. The two cases are kind of in practice they're different, right? Because of many considerations, but the assets of it are statistically equivalent. So because if you think about the first prize auction is that what you try to really sort of bid, you face this question is that, okay, I want to bid and also I want to win. Given that no one has a higher bid, what is the maximum I'm willing to pay, right? This is what the first structure auction, anyone who want to bid first prize auction gonna really answer rationally. Yes, it's basically what this means is that if I win, right, because no one has a higher bid than me, that's the situation. If I win, what is the maximum I'm willing to pay? Okay, you got your utility obviously to really figure out this the maximum that I intend to play. You for example, it could be say, okay, you got this because you're gonna pay that price. If you win that situation, you obviously need to show that if should that happen, you're also happy with that, right? The utility there is the one that you are happy to do it. The Dutch auction would also ask a similar question: is that given nobody has raised their hand, in that case, that if I would be the highest bid, when should I raise mine? When should I raise mine? Because you also need to pay that price as well. So we need to obviously make an assumption that in the first prize auction, there's no new information revealed during the auction, because in the Dutch auction, probably before that happening, nobody really revealed anything. That's fine. But in this first prize auction, is like an open cry cases. You might be, heavily influenced by the emotion or by the sort of behavior of others. So that's not taking that into account. And the first prize auction and the Dutch auction are actually equivalent. I think again we're going to looking at it for that exercise mathematically that indeed the case or not. The second prize auction are in fact equivalent to English auctions. Is that in this English auction? I think that the one people mentioned in the chat box is this equivalency. So English auction, bidders gradually drop out as the sellers steady raise the price, right? And you don't really need to pay the price that in your mind, right? You basically, the winner is the last bidder remaining, because you are last bidder remaining. And you don't need to pay that the actual price you had in mind, but rather pay the price at which second to the last bidder dropped out, isn't it? So for example, somebody pay 70 at the second last. you have in mind that 100, you don't really need to reveal that. You're gonna probably get that item in $71, right? So in that case, it's more like sort of English auction is quite similar to the second price. You only pay this second highest bid. So the outcome in the two actions are the same, but actually in the English auctions, that bidders tend to observe additional information, a bit of others. So therefore, for example, influenced by other people, like psychologically. So then you. And here, we're not taking that into account. Think about people are rationally, but do bidder bid truthfully? So that's the question that I posed. That and why bidders bid truthfully in the second price auction or English auction.